I have no doubt that we've done exactly what we should have done.
There is evidence that they were extremely careless in their handling of very sensitive, highly classified information. Although there is evidence of potential violations of the statutes regarding the handling of classified information, our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case. Although the Department of Justice makes final decisions on matters like this, we are expressing to Justice our view that no charges are appropriate in this case.
Now, I went to community college. All right, I certainly don't have a law degree, so all this stuff is far, far beyond me. I'm willing to admit it. But so she broke the law, but we're not going to do anything about it. Joining me now is Chris Farrell. He's the Director of Investigations for Judicial Watch. All right, Chris, I don't want to speak out of turn. You're the expert. I'm not the expert. This stuff is still very applicable today when it comes to the level of corruption in our government. Would you please unpack that for me? She violated the statutes. I mean, I personally know some people in the military who've gotten in serious trouble for small violations with classified information, but Hillary Clinton can do it and no prosecutor would prosecute. Well, what am I looking at, Chris?
This was a horrific situation in July 2016 when Comey made that speech. And I can tell you that I was an Army counterintelligence guy for years. And like you said, there's people in the military who had their lives destroyed, or they spent some time in jail, or they were dishonorably discharged for doing just a fraction of what she did. So, this was a nightmare and a total fraud on the public back in July 2016. They interviewed her. They didn't even put her under oath. It was a coffee and donut session. They sat around. She had about 6 or 8 handlers in the room, and they said, "You didn't do anything wrong, did you?" And she said, "No." And okay, thank you, and they left.
Okay, Chris, how am I supposed to take things like this, stories like that? And I remember that story. How am I supposed to take this as anything other than we have a completely corrupted FBI full of Democrats and they'll run cover for them and destroy us? Am I supposed to take it a different way? Because everything seems to point to that, everything from that date forward.
No, you've hit the nail on the head. The FBI needs to be dissolved. I've been saying this for years. You need to create an investigative division inside the U.S. Marshal Service, and then you vet very carefully FBI guys and other federal law enforcement who want to sort of laterally transfer over into this new investigative arm. Let the Marshal Service run it, and then you take the FBI as we know it and you collapse it. You put it out of business in about 3 months.
Chris, is this something that can be done with a GOP presidency and Congress? Is it even possible? The bureaucracy is just so entrenched. They've been there forever. They never retire. They have a ton of power. Can it be done?
Yeah. It could be done. I mean, it would be a straight uphill battle. Everybody in the world would be screaming and crying and saying, all kinds of reckless, crazy stuff. But, another idea that I think would go a long way is treat the attorneys in the Justice Department the same way that you treat people in the Pentagon. And every 3 to 4 years, you rotate. You get a new assignment. And so instead of having these attorneys who are entrenched working in one division, one section of the Justice Department for 15 to 20 years, you give them some exciting career opportunities. You say, great, guess what? You're leaving D.C., and you've got a great new opportunity in Topeka, Kansas, and go for it. And if you don't like it, resign, get out. And so you rotate around the bodies in the Justice Department so they don't become entrenched, just like you do at the FBI. People get rotated around there, and certainly in the Pentagon, people are reassigned every 3 years. And so we need to break up these power centers. We need to take a couple of departments out of D.C., put the Interior Department in Denver, put the Treasury in St. Louis, move the government around so that D.C. is not this rat's nest that it currently is.
Hey, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.